Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. In particular I want to show you this technique which is known as Faux Metal. I'm going to do exactly the same style card but I'm changing my colour scheme. On this card I've used Lemon Lime Twist and Tranquil Tide, which are two of our new 5 in colours. For the video I'm using Bermuda Bay and Party. So the card pieces that you're going to need: the card base measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inch, which is 21 by 14.5 centimeters, scored and folded at 10.5 centimeters. And then you need 2 pieces of Bermuda Bay which measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimeters, and 2 pieces of Party which measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimeters. Obviously 2 for inside and 2 for the outside. And then you'll need a piece of Bermuda Bay, which is going to be the layer for the image, and that measures 3 7/8 inches by 2 5/8 inches, which is 9.8 by 7.1 centimeters. And the Whisper White measures 3 3/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches, which is 9.5 by 6.8 centimeters. And then you need a layer for the Faux Metal, and that should measure 3 5/8 inches by 2 7/8 inches, which is 9.2 by 7.7 centimeters. And then you need any piece of cardstock. This is going to be inside our Faux Metal, so the colour really doesn't matter. And this should measure 3 1/2 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is 8.9 by 7.4 centimeters. And then last of all you need some normal strong kitchen foil, and that should measure 4 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches, which is 11.4 by 9.5 centimeters. If you've missed any of the measurements, I will be putting them in the box below for you. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the Faux Metal. So what we need to do is, first of all, don't you blow away, it's another really beautiful day here where I am, and I've got all the windows open, I've got the fan above me going as well, so I'm having to anchor things down on my desk because they're getting blown around a bit, especially that foil. Right, so what we need to do on the piece for our Faux Metal, we need to put SNAIL on the back here. I haven't tried it with fast fuse. I have tried it with Tombow and that was successful. And you can also do it with a glue stick. I've just found that SNAIL has been best for it. The concern is if you use either wet glue or glue stick, it may ooze out as you're putting it through the embossing folder, which isn't really what you want. Right, I'm just going to move the excess of my silicone mat. Put that in that little bowl there. So then I'm going to bring my foil over, and I'm going to have the shiny side facing downwards. So I've got the dull side here, and I'm just going to put this as close to the centre as I can. And then I'm going to use my SNAIL again, and I'm going to put one line right on the edge of my cardstock all the way around. What you need to be careful of is you don't want to have SNAIL anywhere that's not going to be covered up by the silver foil when we fold that in, because otherwise where it's exposed it will go onto your embossing folder. Okay, so if anything goes slightly off the edge of your cardstock so it goes onto the foil rather than coming out into the centre. There we go. Now we need to fold these sides in. I'm going to do the two long sides first. Just flatten it down very nicely as you go, and then the opposite side. Now before we fold the ends down, we need to fold those corners in, and I use my scoring tool to help me manoeuvre this. Okay, so once you've got those two folded, then you can fold the whole thing over. It just makes sure that you get nice corners down here, and then do the other side. And fold that one up. Just give it a nice flatten down. And if you turn it over and just give your wipe your fingers all the way over it, it will all get squashed down in the embossing folder, but this starts it off nicely. The kind of embossing folder that's best for this technique is something that's got an all-over design. I did try the woodland where we've got the trees and some branches, but I didn't think that that was quite as successful as this one has been. Now on embossing folders where we've got Sizzix, that is considered to be the front of the folder. So when you put your silver foil in here, you need to put this side facing the front like that. So what happens is this side actually gets debossed. Alright, so let's move that aside for a moment. I'll get my big shot up. Now I'm going to use my new Big Shot platform. That's the one that comes with the new thin die adapter, but I don't need this bit. It's only the actual platform I need. I'm going to put one cutting mat on there. I'm going to line my foil up in there. I doubt if it matters whether it's straight or not, but old habits die hard, and I just feel better by having it straight. And then put the other cutting mat on top and crank it through. And then we finish up with our foil that has been beautifully embossed on this side and debossed on this side. Isn't that lovely? I suppose you could actually use that side, but I wonder if that may get a bit squashed in the using of it. Maybe I'll try that one day. Right, okay, so the next thing we need to do is our stamping. So we need this piece. I've used my Stampin' jig to get my positioning right on this, and I've needed to anchor this down a bit, so I put a bit of SNAIL on there and then put my finger on it to take the worst of the stickiness off. And I'll line that up there nice and straight. And my tool, my Stampin' jig tool and my template, a little bit smudged by now, but so I'm just going to line that up nice and straight there. And when I put my Stampin' jig tool there in position, when I take away the template, there is nothing to hold that piece of cardstock in place, which is why I put the little bit of sticky on the back of it. Now this is my stamp, which is from the Crafting Forever stamp set. There's this one here. And I'm using basic black archival ink. And then just put the corner of the block into the corner of the Stampin' Majig tool and allow it to slide down. So nice and easy. There we go. Such a beautiful, clear, crisp image, that one. Oh, I'm nearly forgetting. I've also, on here, although the Happy Birthday is a photopolymer stamp, the first card I did, I didn't have much room to get it in, and I found that I was really struggling. So I set up the Stampin' Majig because I already had it out for this. So as it's here, I might as well use it. So if I line that up where I want that to go, put the Stampin' Majig tool back into place. And the Happy Birthday that I'm using is from Guy Greetings. It's this one here. Again, put the corner of the tool into the corner. Oops, no. Oh, crikey, that was close. I had that upside down. Right, concentrate. Put the corner of the block in the corner of the Stampin' Majig, and then let it slide down. There we go. Just move that right out of the way. That's finished with now. That's finished with for the time being. Now what I need to do is to colour this. As usual, I'm not going to colour the whole thing because I've already got one over there, but I will show you exactly how I do it. I'm doing all three. Let's bring that over for you. So I do all three stamps in just my two colours, Pool Party and Bermuda Bay, but just alternate the bits. So on this one, I'd like to do my light colours first. I'm doing the gaps in between the flowers. Now on certain bits of this, you can actually use the pen tip on the marker, but I just find it easiest using the brush, even when I'm doing such minute areas. But if you find that you can use the pen ends easily, I would certainly go for that. So I do the inside bit and then also the centres of the flowers. And then on this one I do the leaves with the Pool Party. The beauty of using the light colour first, and I found this out because I made a mistake, is if you paint a wrong section with the light colour, you can go over it with the correct dark colour and nobody's ever the wiser. There we go. And then on this one, it's just a question of every alternate stripe. This is the bit that takes the time. Okay, so I won't do any more on that. So with my darker colour, on this one I'm going to paint the flowers. Really pleased how these two colours go together. So often for masculine cards, the colours can be a bit on the dreary side. So it makes a really nice change to have something that's really bright and cheerful. There you go, so that's that one. And then on this one, I'm filling in the gaps. The first one I did of these was, once I'd finished doing all of this and I'd finished up with lots of white bits, I went over it and coloured them, all the white bits, with silver, because I thought, you know, if it was a real pen it probably would be silver coloured at least. And I used smoky slate for it, but it didn't look right at all. It looks a lot better by leaving them white. And then of course on the last one, doing the stripes, which is the time-consuming one. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more of that, but what I did, I think, yes I did, I just coloured the bands on the pens. Some I did with the light colour, some with the dark. This one I did a bit of each. And then I coloured in the gaps on the letters here. On that one I alternated, and on this one I think I'm going to do, what did I do on that one? I went over all of them. I can't tell whether I went over them with the light colour or the dark colour, but I'm going over with the light colour. There we go. So that's how I painted the pens. Now if I can lift this up off the table. There we go. That's right. Right, now I'm going to bring in the one that I've actually finished, which I've coloured it exactly the same way. Yep, I have, so that's alright. So all I need to do now is to put my card together. So what I'm going to do first is one more bit of paint, not painting, stamping, and that is to put the pens on the inside. I forgot to do it on this one, but equally I had another one of those I'd already coloured, so I fussy cut them and put them in as individuals like that. But not the kind of thing I would normally do. What I wanted to do is what I'm doing now, and that is to stamp it off like this. So once I'd finished cutting those out and then stuck them in, it did beggar the question, why didn't I just cut half of those off? Why did I do the whole lot in there? If I was doing that I might as well stamp them. But hey, there you go. Sometimes there's no explanation for the things I do. Right, Tombow, and I will put my card together. Oops, a daisy. See what I mean? No telling for the things I do sometimes. Tomorrow is the day that I'm off to Thailand for the Stampin' Up incentive trip, so let's just say that I'm a little bit distracted now, shall we? Just make sure I don't get my card caught on that one. pop this on the inside. The size that I've done the foil on this card is, I can't really say it's bigger than the lemon lime twist card. It's fatter but not as tall. Let me show you that before I forget. Okay, so that was on the lemon lime, and this one, oh, I've done it the same height, but it's coming further over. I knew that, I didn't feel that that was nicely balanced with the size of the actual image. Right, so we've done that bit. Let's do these two. And then put this onto the base. Now we just have these last two bits to do. So that one goes on there. There we go. And then this one goes on here. Yes. So I'm going to use Tombow again on here. There's no right way or wrong way with the direction of the pattern on here. Right, so what I'm going to do, I think, is place that one there and then that one, and I think, let me put them side by side, see what you think. I think that looks more balanced because it's that more in tune. The size of that is more in tune with the size of that. That looks a bit small for that one. Don't know whether you agree with me on that, but your comments are always very welcome. I always read all your comments. I may not be able to answer all of them, but I do acknowledge all of them, and I definitely read them all. I appreciate it, thank you. Right, so I'm going to put this down here, and I'm just going to try and make sure that I get the same gap of the pool party down there as down there, and hopefully straight. That looks beautifully straight. Now, just as a guideline for me, I'm going to use my pencil. In fact, let's put that away. It's just getting dried up like that. Right, here's my pencil, and just as a guide, I'm going to, that gives me about the same gap either side as I've got this side, so I'm just putting a little pencil mark here which is level with that bit there, and I'm going to do it here as well. So what I need to do is I'm going to put this one on with dimensionals, but I can't put dimensionals on this bit here. I'm going to glue this, so I need to know how far to put the dimensionals on here. So I know right across the top is going to be fine. And with my pencil mark there, I know that's where I can put one on here. Okay, so that's equivalent of having one there. And I'm going to do the same down the bottom here. Right, so it's got to be just above my finger there, which is about there. I will put another one. And another one. I think that should be enough. That one's come too far over. Very gently put it off and move it in a bit. That's better. That's okay. I'll just put one round about here. Right, so that's it. When I was making that card earlier on, this one, I found that I'd missed putting a dimensional in there and it was sagging quite a lot. So what I did was I got myself a dimensional and I only took the bottom, or at least it was the only bit that was exposed was as I took it off of here, it was that bit underneath. Because I only wanted it to support this, I didn't need it to actually use the sticking power of it. I left the top on and I was able just to slide it in, push it down and pull my, I had it stuck on the end of a my paper piercer, so I was able to slide it under there, get it stuck down and then pull my paper piercer out, so it was really nice and supported them. But that's a little tip for you. You don't always have to make sure that you've got the tops off of your dimensionals if you're using them just for support. Right, just putting a little bit of glue on here so that this will stick onto this bit here. I've still got to erase my pencil marks as well. That's it. Very gently. And very gently again. There we go. And that's today's project. I'm just so pleased with that. It is something that's just different, and I do like things that stand out from the crowd, if you like. And I'm certainly a lot happier with the bigger one, the more I see it like this. And the other one that I did, let me show you this one. This is another masculine card. I like that as well. So there you go. This again was from Guy Greetings as well. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and I really hope you give it a try. It's fun. If you have any questions or any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. You'll find underneath the video there on the right hand side there are two arrows. If you click on the lower arrow, that'll open up the box, and also in the box I will put the link for my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you'd like to purchase anything here, apart obviously from the silver foil, that's just normal household strong foil. If you would like to be notified every time I upload a new video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button. I normally upload on Wednesdays and Sundays. And finally, I will put all the measurements of everything and the products that I've used in the box below. So everything that you need will be down there. The comment box is down there. If you want to send me an email, my email address, everything is all here. Nice and handy for you. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.